If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Talk baseball.
Let's talk some baseball. Welcome back, Wisco Fanatics Wednesday. We're getting started a little bit early. The Brewers beat the New York Mets this afternoon in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Not that I thought Garcia was going to run long enough to jeopardize the start of Game 2, but we wanted to kind of get our thoughts going right after Game 1 ended while they're fresh in the mind and recap the Rockies series from over the weekend. So we are going to hit the intro and then get going on these 4 games that we have.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisco Fanatics Show, where we cover the Packers, Bucks, Brewers, and Badgers basketball and football teams from an optimistic and realistic perspective.
Wisco Fanatics is brought to you by Cardboard Legacy, Wisconsin's most complete sports card shop. Buy, sell, grade, and consign all at their location in Oshkosh.
Alrighty, so Taylor, welcome back. As I said, we have 4 Milwaukee Brewer games today, and I just want to throw this out there. Because of all the news that happened with the Milwaukee Bucks before we start with the Brewers, we talked for about 45 to 50 minutes yesterday on the Milwaukee Bucks. Taylor said sun's out, guns out. Absolutely, for Jake, at least.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say what just popped into my mind, but moving on. We got a ton of Bucks news yesterday. We talked through all of it. Yesterday, we did a special live. We popped up and we talked about it while all the news was fresh because we wanted to have all of our thoughts collected in one place. So if you want to hear what we had to say about the Bucks, go to yesterday's videos on Facebook and YouTube. That's where all of our thoughts were on the Bucks. You can get our thoughts just on the Bucks from everything we discussed yesterday. We answered questions. We had tons of stuff, thoughts, questions, comments, concerns. We talked through all of it for a good amount of time yesterday. So today we have just baseball, and I will say next Wednesday we're going to do some more Bucks discussions, and we are going to have a guest with us for our next Wednesday's show. Next Wednesday, after we're done talking baseball, we're going to switch to the Bucks, and we're going to talk about their offseason some more. And we're also going to discuss the Summer League, and we are going to have Bucks Realm from Twitter joining us. He's kind of got a similar situation going on that Scary Alvarez had going before he started his own podcast, where he's just kind of operating as his Twitter profile persona and is going to remain anonymous, but he's going to join us similar to how Scary did. And we'll have his logo on and we'll talk to him. He's got some pretty good information. Cody, welcome back. Bucks Realm absolutely knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And he's got some inside information. I wouldn't go as far as to call him a Bucks insider, but he definitely knows somebody. So that'll be interesting to have that conversation next week. So Reggie loves him. So good. Yeah, Bucks Realm's joining us next week. He's very excited to be joining us, and we are excited to have him.
Dude, I've been wondering. I was like, how does this guy get all this information? I'm like, he's got to be related to somebody that works.
He's got to know somebody.
He's got to, dude. There's no way he gets all that because we're consistently looking stuff up.
Yeah,
but we have to rely on the insiders to get some of the information that we get as well. So it's like he's related to somebody, I think. But
he's got to be related or friends with somebody.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good episode next week. I'm super excited.
Absolutely. Like I said, bottom line is he knows
like that. So it'll be fun.
All right. So we're going to start. We have 4 games. We have the Rockies series, and we have today's game from the first game of the doubleheader. Now, the Brewers had off last Thursday. They had off Monday, and then # put a roof on it because New York got rained out yesterday. So we were originally only going to have 4 games, but the Brewers ended up being off 3 out of the last 6 days.
Yeah.
And now they're playing 2 tonight, and then they have a bunch over the weekend. So let's go back to last Friday. Brewers Rockies, game 1. What did you take away from that one?
So Quintana's on the bump against a historically bad team in the Colorado Rockies, and Quintana gets the win. And another ho-hum performance from Quintana. This is, I mean, I know he gave up a couple runs, but he's only had one outing this year, under 5 innings pitched. So he's going to give you 5 innings. He gave us 5 2/3 on this day. His 7 hits is pretty much his average as well. He's going to give up some hits, some soft contact that's going to end up squeaking through. It's whatever. It usually doesn't hurt him. The 2 walks. The walks are the thing that's been kind of concerning over his last couple outings as he's come back from injury. So if he starts to get the location back a little bit, I think he'll be just fine. But the 5K is actually a little bit surprising for me. I think that's a little bit above his average, since he doesn't have some overpowering stuff. And we've seen so many pitchers over the last, I'll say 3 years. I'll only go 3 years back. We've seen so many pitchers for the Brewers over the last 3 years, and they all have different styles and speed and arm angles. And Quintana is just another wrench in there where it's just like, man, this guy is just different than everybody else. And obviously you have to be pretty good to stick around as long as he did. So 6-2 in the year for Quintana, so very good for him. Mears gave up 2 hits in his inning and a third, but he got his 10th hole of the year. Koenig got his 14th hole of the year, only pitching a third of an inning. And Uribe got his league-leading 22nd hole of the year, pitching 2/3 of an inning as he had to come in for Koenig, who was struggling in this game. And then Anderson ended up finishing this one out. Now, the thing that I focused on more in this game is obviously the Brewers' offense stayed hot. They scored 10 runs. They won this one 10-6. Lots of player notes to go over here. Durbin was 3 for 4 and scored a run. Fantastic. The guy's been absolutely on fire. Turang, 2 for 4, 2 runs, 2 RBIs. Bryce Turang, I mean, there's a few guys. Now, every team gets a representative for the All-Star game. Bryce Turang damn well might be the representative for the Brewers.
You know who it should be for the Brewers?
Honestly, it should be the guy who pitched game 1 today.
I disagree.
You don't think it should be Freddie?
I think it should be Sal Frelick.
Really?
I think Sal Frelick should be an all-star.
Okay.
I feel pretty strongly about it. He's batting .300. He's got more home runs in the first half of this season than he had all of last season.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a Gold Glove caliber outfielder who's batting .300.
That's very true. It's very true.
He should be an all-star.
I don't disagree. I just think it should be Cody.
Yeah, Cody said Jesus Mate up to number 8 overall with the Futures game coming up. Frelick needs to be in the All-Star game. Joey O, we're going to talk about Joey O. He's jumping ahead to today, but Chiefs are playing out of their minds lately. Absolutely are. Okay, resume.
Yeah. So then Contreras, 2 hits for him. Very nice to see Contreras get 2 hits. I know he's still battling the broken thumb. Eventually, he's going to turn the corner. It's going to be like late August, early September, and all of a sudden, everybody in the baseball world is going to be like, oh, shit, I forgot they have that guy. Because they're talking about everybody else right now. They're not talking about him because he's having a little bit of a down year, being banged up. He's doing a great job managing all the pitching. I'm going to keep talking about that. We're both going to keep talking about that. But good to see him get on twice, score 2 runs himself. Talking about Sal Frelick, 2 for 4 for him as well. Brewers had a ton of hits in this game if you didn't catch on. He scored a run, had an RBI. Jackson Churio, 1 for 4, 2 runs, 4 RBIs, big-time homer in this game. He also walked again. Every player that batted in this game, had an at-bat, got a hit except Joey Ortiz, as we're talking about him. He did get a big-time hit in the next game, but he still got on base in this one with a walk. So every player that played got on base. He got that walk in the 6th inning. Didn't even have to swing the bat because both the strikes that he got were looking. On top of that, I have some numbers here. The Brewers are 39-9 when they score 4+ runs and 7-27 when they score 3 or fewer. That is the craziest. Like, 1 run makes that much of a difference is insane to me.
It's the magic number. That's why we've said it a bunch of times. 4 is the magic number.
4 is the number. So, yeah, that's what I have. What you got, man?
Okay, so you talk about Jose Quintana to get through 5 2/3. He did a really good job in the top of the 3rd inning to give up a leadoff double to get a pop-out, a strikeout looking, and a pop-out. He threw 105 pitches. So, to me, what this really marks is that the injury is behind him. And now we're just getting back to conditioning, getting back to, the mid-season conditioning. That's what I'm looking for Jose Quintana, for him to kind of get his feel back now that he is recovered. He just couldn't get the last out to finish 6 innings. Now, last week, I talked about how there was a situation where I'm so happy that the Brewers didn't bunt with first and second and nobody out. They ended up putting a big tally on. Cody said, I like when we score 17 and Jake Bauers gets the pitch.
Me too.
I would like that too. The Brewers started this game up 6-0. The Rockies cut it to 7-6, and the Brewers ended up winning 10-6. But bottom of the third last week, first and second, and they don't bunt. They end up scoring 4 runs in the inning, I believe. And this game, Caleb Durbin gets on. They have Joey Ortiz, one of the hottest bats in the lineup, bunting, and he pops out to the pitcher. It's like, he had a step forward. I thought we were making progress, and we weren't going to do that shit anymore.
Yeah.
Like, stop bunting, please, unless you're doing it for hits. Stop having Joey Ortiz and Caleb Durbin, guys who don't typically bunt for hits, trying to bunt for hits. If Sal Frelick and Bryce Terang want to do it, have at it. But stop having Caleb Durbin and Joey Ortiz bunt with guys on base and taking the bat out of their hands when they've shown you that they can hit the ball. Stop taking the bat out of their hands. They both have popped up bunts. They're not great bunters. There's nothing wrong with that. They're good hitters.
And they're on
Stop
fire.
trying to make good hitters into bunters when they're not.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, bunting for hits, that's different because then you're still trying to get on base. Bunting to make outs on purpose, crumple it up, throw it over your shoulder. Stop doing it.
Yeah.
It's a one-way ticket to pissing me off, which we don't do very much complaining around here, but that's one hill I will die on. Making outs on purpose. No, stop doing it. Again, the only stipulation I'll say, if you're in the bottom of the 9th inning or bottom of extras and you only need 1 run to win, that's different. Any other situation, you're trying to score as many runs as possible. Okay. Bottom of the 4th inning, first 4 guys reach. No bunts. Bryce Terang extends his hitting streak to 11 with a 2 RBI single. Sal Frelick has a 2-out, 2-strike RBI single. All 3 runs that were driven in between the 2 of them, lefty on lefty. Sal and Bryce Terang both drove in those runs off of a left-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
Did get, before that, until Jackson Churrill's home run. Good first game from the rookie. Not sure which rookie he's talking about.
I think he's talking about the kid who made his debut today.
Oh, Siegler.
Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't remember his name. I knew
Got a little ahead of me. Technically, I guess, earned runs, but a double play could have happened on the runs that the Rockies got back. It's one of those things where you can't assume a double play, but if there's a double play that could have happened, I believe it was Rhys Hoskins trying to scoop a ball. It might have been Bauers. Should have wrote it down who had the attempted scoop, but you can't assume a double play, even though it probably would have been a double play, but those runs end up being earned on Quintana. But top of the 8th, Koenig allows the first 2 to reach and then gets a deep fly out. Abner Uribe came in, gives up a 2-run double, which makes it a 1-run game. And then at that point, for it to be a 2-run game and Abner Uribe to go strikeout, that's still good stuff by Uribe to lock in after giving up 2 runs and making it a 1-run game. Trevor got Collins and Siegel mixed up. Isaac Collins, we are big fans around here.
Oh, he had a good day today. If that's who you're talking about, he had a really good day today.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Christian Yelich extended his hitting streak to 10 with a 2-out RBI double, made the game 10-6, which started with Terang, who had a great at-bat. Caleb Durbin had a single, and Sal Frelick drew a 1-out walk, and Jackson Churrill had an RBI fielder's choice. But again, the bottom of the order, Terang, Durbin, Ortiz did get out, but Terang and Durbin getting on base for Sal, Churrill, and Yelich at the top of the order. That's what's turned the ship around for the Brewers, more so, I think, even than Christian Yelich getting hot, because we plain and simple, we called that Christian Yelich was going to get hot. We told you how, and we told you when, and it happened. So, like, we know ball, but the bottom of the order producing has been more instrumental, even more than Christian Yelich getting hot, in my opinion. Trevor, we're going to talk about Game 3, but before we talk about Game 3, let's talk about Game 2. Jake, I'll let you go first for Game 2.
Yeah, Quinn Priester, that guy's pretty goddamn good, huh?
Dude, in the hitting lab, In the Brewers pitching lab, we trust.
Dude, for real. So when we first got Quinn Priester, all anybody was talking about was, oh, what a bad trade.
The Brewers the 6.19 ERA.
Yeah. So we posted it on the page earlier this week about his stats for the last 10 starts. Tyler was also kind enough to make an apology for anybody who was saying any of this ridiculous stuff. But in this game, he went 7 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 11 Ks. His new career high with 11 Ks. This guy was a first-round pick. So let's not forget that. The talent was there. The evaluators were like, yeah, this guy is deserving of being a top 30 pick. So over his last 10 starts, for anybody who didn't see it, he has 54 and 2/3 innings pitched, a 2.32 ERA, a 1.01 WHIP, 44 Ks to 12 walks. I mean, what an absolute stud over his last 10 starts. The Brewers' pitching depth is getting to the point where it's past the problem, and it's laughable now. It is honestly laughable.
It's an embarrassment of riches, as they call it.
It's disgusting, dude. We have a guy, Logan Henderson, who is destroying people, and he's not going to sniff the major leagues, barring injuries or setbacks to anybody. He's not going to sniff the major leagues again this year, and he deserves to be here.
There's 2 guys sitting in AAA that were big parts of last year's pitching with Brian Hudson and Elvis Peguero. Don't forget about those 2. Those 2 are good relievers.
Right. Scott hit the nail on the head. Brewers have a long track record of improving pitchers whose teams have given up on, and that's very true.
Big facts.
Very true. Talking about guys who the Brewers have developed over the last couple of years, talking about Ashby and Hall, the other 2 pitchers that pitched in this game, only using 3 pitchers in a game, by the way, and a shutout. Ideal.
Big fan.
Ashby, 1 inning pitch, 2 walks, 0 Ks. His first at bat was a walk, 6 pitches. He got the double play right after that. He then walked the next batter in 7 pitches, and then got a line out on the pitch immediately after that. So he did his job. Obviously, the 2 walks, you'd like to control those a little bit, but it is what it is. And then DL Hall, 11 pitches to get 3 outs. He got a fly out and back-to-back ground outs, 4 pitches, 3 pitches. So he was super efficient in this one, shutting it down. People who were successful in this game were Bryce Terang, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs. Durbin stayed hot, 2 for 4 in a run. And it's me, Joey, going 1 for 4 with a run, 2 RBIs, and a home run. The guy just got the home run bug for some reason. I don't know where it came from. But, they did a very nice job talking about it today. Vinny Rottino, friend of the show, he is tremendous. He is absolutely tremendous at his job. He's so good. I cannot give him enough flowers. He's so good at his job. But he's talking about loading up and doing everything, ahead of the plate. He did a really nice job talking about that. His 5th homer of the year. Now, talking runners in scoring position, because that's a hot topic with baseball, Brewers were 3 for 7. Bryce Terang was 2 for 2. Durbin was 1 for 1. So those guys, again, down in the bottom of the order, are really carrying this offense right now. Now, everybody's still scared of the people at the top, the Yelich's, the Contreras, the Chirios. They're still scared of those guys. They don't want to give those guys at bats with people on base.
Yeah.
But they're sleeping on the guys in the bottom of the order, and they're absolutely mauling right now. And we're talking Collins, Ortiz, Durbin, Terang. I mean, we still haven't had Hoskins. He's going to have his 2nd outburst again this year. So, I mean, this Brewers team has potential. And don't look now, but if they win game 2 and the Cubs lose tonight, it's only down to 1 again.
Steve brought up a really good point as far as the bottom of the order concerned. With the bottom of the lineup, if it hits, it snowballs. That momentum is contagious. Absolutely true. Scott, yes, Collins is doing great, and Yelich being able to stay the DH is hopefully going to preserve his back and get him through the entire season healthy. Trevor, we did talk about Quintana when we talked about game 1. Game 2 was the Quinn Priester show. He was fantastic, and what prompted the Quinn Priester apology form is the fact that this was Quinn Priester's best outing ever. He was striking out guys like crazy. He did not allow a base runner until the number 9 hitter drew a walk. His breaking ball looked great. He didn't allow a hit until the 5th inning. And then he got to get an extra an extra strikeout after a batter reached on a strikeout. So he got to get an extra strikeout in that inning. He had 8 Ks through 5 innings. He got 2 more in the 6th. He is the first Brewer to reach double-digit strikeouts this year.
Oh, yeah, damn. I forgot to put that in my notes. Damn, that was a good nugget. Good
The
nugget.
first guy to reach double-digit strikeouts this year was Quinn Priester. It wasn't Freddie Peralta. It wasn't Jacob Mizorowski. It wasn't Jose Quintana. It wasn't Brandon Woodruff, who's going to be back on Sunday. It's Quinn Priester.
Yeah, that we overpaid for, right, Tyler?
Panic edition.
That's amazing.
Career high 11 strikeouts in 7 innings, which is a career high in innings as well, and 20 whiffs.
Yeah.
20 swing and misses for Quinn Priester, a guy who we talked about 2 weeks ago, retired 16 out of 18 batters on groundouts.
Yeah.
Now in this game, he records 21 outs, and 11 of them are Ks. I don't even think the versatility of him is being talked about enough.
Very true.
Now, offensively, bottom of the first, Christian Yelich extended his hitting streak right away to 11 with another opposite field hit. William Contreras, a walk, marked 3 straight guys to reach. Bryce Terang makes it 4 with his RBI infield single to extend his hitting streak to 12. Rhys Hoskins just missed a grand slam. Now, I want to put a pin in this because the ball on Saturday and Sunday was flying. I'm going to come to it when we get to Sunday. Joey Ortiz stayed hot. He doubled the lead with a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 4th. That was his 3rd home run in the last 4 games, and the Brewers added a run in the 5th on back-to-back doubles by William Contreras and Bryce Terang. Now, Jake mentioned only 3 pitchers were needed. They only allowed 1 hit in a 1-hit shutout. That was the 8th shutout by the Brewers this year. So, Connor, welcome back. We just discussed the first 2 games of the Rockies series. And going to Game 3, the reason I brought up Rhys Hoskins just missing a grand slam as a key point in Game 2 is the ball was flying to the deep outfield the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
Even Orlando Arcia, he had 2 deep flyouts before what I'll get to in a second. But Chad Patrick took him 32 pitches to go through a scoreless first, but he finished 5 scoreless innings on 99 pitches. So only gave up 4 hits. He did have 2 walks, but had 8 strikeouts and 15 whiffs. Like, all of a sudden, Chad Patrick is racking up the strikeouts his last 2 outings too? Since May 21st, he's 3rd in baseball. In 8 starts, he's had 5 strikeouts once. He's had 6 strikeouts 3 times. He's had 7 strikeouts once. He's had 8 strikeouts twice, and he's had 9 strikeouts once.
Jesus Christ.
That's Chad Patrick. Now, I know he was the Triple Crown winner in AAA last year, but the first month and a half of the season, he wasn't getting that many strikeouts. He was having like 3, 4, 5. Now he's having 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 once. But his last 8 starts, he's had 6 to 8 strikeouts in 6 of those 8 games.
Damn.
So you got Quinn Priester, ground ball guy, racking up strikeouts. You got Chad Patrick racking up strikeouts. And we're just going to talk about the game. I don't like playing the should game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care if it's the Rockies. They're still a professional baseball team. Top of the 3rd, Freeland and the interim manager, there was an 0-2 pitch that it was a strike. And William Contreras just dropped the ball trying to frame it, but it's still a strike. Generally, the unwritten rule as far as umpires usually go is you drop a frame, it's a ball. That means it wasn't close enough if you're trying to frame it. But the pitch was a strike. And I said this to somebody on Twitter that it's too close of a pitch to take. And somebody said, well, it doesn't make it a strike. And I'm like, that's not what makes it a strike. The approach of the hitter should be if the ball is close, you need to protect and you need to try to follow the pitch off, whatever. I'm not going to feel bad for you if you strike out looking on an 0-2 pitch that's on the fringe. Otherwise, you're looking at a 1-2 count. Okay, cool. You're still going to strike out on the next pitch. Like, as many strikeouts as there are in baseball, if you're down 0-2, you need to protect the zone. I would say about our own team. Steve said, that's Chad Bourne. Scott said, I love this Brewers team that doesn't rely on the home run, pitching, defense, running, winning games. And that's the thing is they can win in multiple different ways. And just because they lost to the Rockies on Sunday doesn't mean that everything that they've done over the last 2 weeks is for naught because they lost the game. Bottom of the 6th inning, Sal Frelick got a middle fastball, hit it out for the first run of the game. 2 batters later, Christian Yelich made it 2-0 to extend his hitting streak to 12. Now, the later parts of this game is where it gets interesting. Top of the 8th, Joey Ortiz made a good play. Rhys Hoskins just couldn't scoop it. The runner got to second. Rockies down to their last strike of the 8th inning, end up getting a run. Top of the 9th, Rockies get to their last out, and Trevor McGill leaves the curveball that was too high in the zone. It was in the middle of the strike zone instead of towards the bottom or below the strike zone, and Orlando Arcia hit it out to tie the game. And it did give Orlando Arcia hit the home run. He also had 2 pretty deep flyouts earlier in the game. There were plenty of other deep flyouts. The ball was jumping off the bat for both teams.
Yeah.
Obviously, I just mentioned Sal and Christian Yelich hit home runs in this game. The ball was flying. They had a juicy ball on Sunday. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
And we've discussed this too. Power pitchers, they give up hard hits. It just happens. And we obviously had Orlando Arcia. We know that he'll swing at anything.
Yeah.
He'll let the bat fly.
Yeah.
That's part of what makes him fun, but that's also part of what makes him striking out. It did give the opportunity for Bryce Terang to extend his hitting streak to 13. Isaac Collins was so close to hitting a game-winning double. Well, it would have been a single, but a game-winning hit down the line. Missed it by like a foot.
Yeah.
Super close. So it's, again, be upset that the Brewers lost the game to the Rockies in late June or just move on. But Brewers are still 44-2 when leading after 8 innings. That is an overwhelmingly good record. That is not leading me to have any sort of like negative feelings going into a 9th inning with a lead and being like, shit, can the Brewers even win this game? Like, can they hold on to it? Like, don't let those 2 bad games give you such a bad taste in the mouth that you will ignore the fact that they've won 44 out of 46 times when leading after 8.
What is that in percentage? 44?
I mean, that's 44 out of 46. That's probably like 90%.
It's 96%.
96%.
If you round up, it's 96%. That's pretty good.
Yeah. So I get that people don't like losing, especially at home in extra innings to the Rockies with a chance to sweep. But like I said, the ball was bouncing everywhere.
No.
And what we usually say is the goal is to win 2 out of 3. They had the series won. Yes, again, you would prefer to sweep. I would prefer to win all 162 games too. It's just not realistic. But you break it down to smaller pieces. Winning series, the goal is 2 out of 3. If you win 2 out of 3, you'll have 104 wins at the end of the year.
I'll take that.
Extra innings, top of the 10th. Isaac Collins made a great catch up against the wall. Actually knocked the wall off the hinges. And
Yeah.
the wall swinging out a little bit. Trevor McGill made great hustle on the throw to not let the ball roll far enough away that the Rockies couldn't score another run. Bottom of the 10th, Joey Ortiz showed great hustle. I mean, the Brewers got the winning run 90 feet away from home twice. Just couldn't get that last hit to get over the hump. And it doesn't mean that the entire month of June was for nothing because they lost to the Rockies on Sunday.
Right.
Now, I will throw this out there. I do really respect Victor Vodnik. I think he's cut from the same cloth as Mason Miller for the Oakland A's. I think they are both very, very good pitchers, although Mason Miller is definitely better. But Victor Vodnik is not a slouch for the Rockies.
He just hasn't had that many opportunities, obviously, this year.
And he pitches in a hitter-friendly ballpark.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to throw out there from Sunday.
I just thought the pitchers did a really nice job of all kind of getting ahead. First pitch strikes, Patrick was 15 out of 20, Mears 3 of 4, Koenig 3 of 4, Uribe was 5 of 5, McGill was 8 for 8, and Anderson was 2 for 3. So obviously, like I've talked about before, putting yourself in an advantageous situation is always good when you're the pitcher. I just think that, I'm just going to say, I was going to say something, before you said, just because we lost, one game when leading in front of – I was going to say, just because we lost to the Rockies one time doesn't make us the Rockies now. It's just one loss. It's one loss. And I think people were kind of putting a little bit extra weight on it because the Cubs also lost that day. But I went back and I listened to what Murph said, and he said, you can't live like that, man. He said there's stuff happening all over the league. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing right now, but he said there's stuff happening all over the league when you're playing games, so you can't worry about that stuff. You just take care of what you can take care of. They didn't get the job done today, but they get 162 chances to get the job done. And you know what? To this point, they've got the job done more than they haven't got the job done. They're going to lose 70 to 72 times.
Yeah, I would say 70 to 72.
Yeah. They're going to win 88 to 90 games, right? That's what they're going to probably be on track for. I mean, if they stay hot, they might win fucking 95. I don't know. The way they're playing right now, they might. I mean,
that's the thing. A realistic target and a hot finish is a difference of 5 games.
Yeah.
Out of 162, you're talking about 5, which is like 4% of the season.
Right. So if they do, let's say they win 92 games. I mean, what is that? That's 70, right? Yeah. That's 70. So they're going to lose 70 games. Are you going to be that upset every time they lose? 70 times you're going to put yourself through that?
Let me throw this to you times? Because on the 70 losses thing, say they lose 70 games. If all of them come against the Phillies, the Mets, the Cubs, the Dodgers, the Tigers, then the narrative just becomes, well, the Brewers just can't beat good teams.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're going to mix in a couple losses to the Rockies here and there.
Exactly.
We're also going to sweep the Phillies in Philadelphia. There's got to be some give and take. You can't just be pissed all the time.
And that's honestly, that's the kind of trying to get.
You can't live like that.
Yeah,
you can't have that perspective to just be like, I'm always going to find something to be pissed about.
Mm-hmm.
If we lose to a good team, it's, we can't beat good teams. If we lose to a bad team, it's like, we lose to shitty teams. Guess that makes us shitty. You just can't. You got to be able to take losing in stride. You have to.
Yeah.
Especially in a game that there's so many games to be played.
Yeah, and baseball's like one of those games where there's a game inside the game with how you attack certain batters with certain pitchers and with
strategy,
how you set up your defense, and the ballparks are all shaped differently. Baseball's a crazy, crazy sport, man. The concept behind baseball is incredible, actually, when you think about it. But it is what it is. They're going to go on. They're going to win their 90-plus games. This one, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to move on just like the Brewers did. And they moved on to Monday, and they had the off day, and then they moved on to Tuesday, and it wasn't supposed to be an off day. And I'm walking around my house yesterday get a roof on that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I am being so serious when I say this.
We talked about the Bucks for 45 minutes, and then it's like, what do I do with the rest of the night?
Seriously. I was like, fuck. Every team that gets a new stadium from now on, from 2025 on, should be obligated to have a retractable roof. The Brewers have had this technology for 25 fucking years.
Yep.
They're literally going to celebrate the 25th anniversary at the end of this month versus Miami.
Yep.
Which is going to be a sick game. They're going to have a freaking home run derby after the game with Braun and stuff like that. It's going to be nasty. Eric Thames and all that stuff is going to be nasty.
Ben's Fielder.
But a retractable roof is not that hard.
It's such the more you think about it, it's like, why is that not just standard?
And people always come at me with, why don't they do that in football? You can fucking play football in the rain. You can play it in the snow.
That's part of what makes football fun, is playing in the elements. Baseball, you need, you want to be able to play in the summer sun.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be playing in the summer rain or the summer thunderstorms. You put a roof on, you can play all your games. Trying to reschedule a game where there's 162 of them in the year is a lot harder than trying to move one football game because they got 18 inches of snow in 2 hours in Buffalo.
That's what I'm saying,
you
dude.
Move Sunday to Monday, not that hard. Baseball, you get the Cubs who bitched out and didn't want to face Freddie and Mizorowski in the same day, so they moved it to August, and now we're playing 5 games in 4 days.
Yep.
Put a retractable roof on your stadium.
Yeah, and you're talking about 17 games compared to 162, so that's 10%, 9%, something like that. I don't know. So it's a very small percentage of games that they play in football compared to baseball, where they're already on the road. Sometimes these guys play 25 consecutive days in a row. Like, just play the games. Just have a
Brewers
retractable
in
roof.
August will be playing 19 games in 18 days.
That's what I'm saying, because we have to do that
insane.
doubleheader. So it bothers the hell out of me that they don't force these teams to have retractable roofs, but it is what it is. So we'll get into the game now. Freddie Peralta on the bump. He got the win. He's 9-4 now. He got a quality start today, going 6 innings. Got a lot of quick outs today as well. So that was really nice to see. That allowed him to go a little bit deeper as well.
Yep.
Had the 2 hits, 2 earned runs, the 1 walk in the 6 Ks. The 1 walk that Freddie had was all the Brewers had for pitching staff. Mears went an inning, very clean, and Dale Hall went 2 clean innings. Honestly, it kind of felt like the Mets were like, okay, let's end this one and try to get him tonight. That's what those last couple of innings really felt like to me when I was watching those.
Yeah,
at-bats.
nobody reaching in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Yeah,
I was like,
that's fair.
Dude, they're kind of mailing it in.
Yeah.
Especially when you take in the fact that the Mets had a 2-1 lead. And after that 2-1 lead, Freddie Peralta turned the hat backwards and locked the fuck in, dude, because he retired 8 straight after that. They only had 1 base runner in their next 19 at-bats, and it was a hit by pitch on Alonso.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's
I mean, he got into a little bit of trouble in that 4th inning when he gave up the run that Soto and Alonso manufactured.
Yeah.
And he retired 5 out of the next 6 batters after that. And then you talk about the 3 innings between Mears and Hall. I mean, you're talking 5 out of the next 6 after that, plus 9 straight. You're talking 14 out of 15 after taking a 2-1 lead.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So the Brewers, as a team, literally took a little jab from the Mets, and then they wound up and mollywopped them right in the mouth, and the Mets just faltered right to the ground.
Yeah.
They crumbled. And got to give some credit here. So Sal Frelick got this party started. He jumped on a pitch, first career leadoff homer. You know we love some Sal Frelick. I taught my daughter when she was 2 years old, when Sal was a rookie. I taught her, I said, the Brewers are on. So now every time she sees the Brewers, she goes, Daddy? And I go, yes, girl, yes.
That's awesome.
So one of my favorite things about the Brewers is now I have that connection with my daughter where she gives me the Italian hand. So thank you, Sal Frelick, if you ever get this message. Isaac Collins, my God, cannot say enough good stuff about this guy. He got his first career 4-hit game. He was a triple shy of the cycle, and he has a 798 OPS on the season. The dude, he's been a revelation, honestly. And Ortiz with the grand slam. The guy he's on another planet right now with how he's swinging the bat.
That dude's on a heater.
He's up to 6 homers. He had 4 RBIs today. He's up to 25. Hey, season of Sal. Love to hear that, Connor. And Bryce Terang stayed hot as well. He's up to 36 RBIs. He had the game-tying double that made this game 2-2 before Ortiz broke it open. That was his 14th double of the year. So I got some numbers on Brewers and Mets. I'll let you go first, but I got some numbers I want to share after you're done with your notes.
All right. When you're doing that, I'm going to look up Joey Ortiz over the last couple of weeks because he's been insane. And yes, Connor, the season of Sal, between Sal and Joey Ortiz, both of them, you knew as soon as they hit him that they were gone.
Mm-hmm.
They both, right off the bat, looked like homers for sure.
Dude, Frelick's was fucking ripped. Like the sound and everything. Ortiz, I thought, okay, maybe that's off the wall. It had the height. I thought maybe it was off the wall, but yeah, Frelick's, I was like, yep, that's gone.
Hit by pitch set the table for the Mets to score their first run on a 2-0 sac fly. Soto and Alonso manufactured the second run, and that's when, like I said, Freddie Peralta got into a little bit of trouble, but retired 5 out of the next 6 that he faced. Finished 6 innings on 100 pitches. That is all I will ever ask of Freddie. You give me six innings, 100 pitches, done. 6 strikeouts, 1 walk, I'll take that. 2 hit by pitches, I prefer 0, but shit happens. Only gave up 2 hits, gave up the 2 earned runs. Fine. Now, the Brewers had a chance in the top of the 4th after 3 straight walks with 1 out to take a lead, tie the game. Joey Ortiz, unfortunately, grounded into a double play. I would still prefer to have Joey Ortiz swinging the bat than bunting because the baseball gods giveth and the baseball gods taketh away, except today we got what we prefer. We prefer bad news first. And Joey Ortiz got his bad news out of the way and then turned into some good news. because top of the sixth, Christian Yelich and Bryce Terang tied the game with a walk and a double that extended Bryce Terang's hitting streak to 12. Isaac Collins had a single. Jake Bauers needs credit because even though I talked not very highly of him last week, he had a really, really, really good at-bat to draw a walk ahead of Joey Ortiz to give him a shot at redemption, and he absolutely did. Joey Ortiz had a grand slam that, like I said, it was going off the bat. And previously this season, Joey Ortiz had been 1 for 15 with runners with the bases loaded. So now he's 2 for 16, and he has a grand slam.
Yeah, we like that.
The crazy thing is those 2 opportunities with the bases loaded for Joey Ortiz, the ground into a double play marked a minus 17.7 win probability added. So the Brewers' chances of winning after that went down by 17%.
Damn.
The second time that he batted with the bases loaded, he hit the grand slam. The Brewers' odds of winning increased by 27.9%. So Joey Ortiz, essentially, I mean, you balance them out, still a plus 12% in the win probability added in just those 2 at-bats. Doesn't even measure his defense. Doesn't measure those other at-bats. It's a great job by Joey Ortiz to not let his first at-bat with the bases loaded affect his second.
I agree.
That's a mental toughness thing that Joey Ortiz has absolutely showed that he has.
Especially this year.
Isaac Collins added another with a leadoff home run in I believe that was the 7th inning. He has been a revelation this season.
Yeah.
With Garrett Mitchell, who if I could give him my shoulder, I would. Because I want a season of healthy Garrett Mitchell so badly. I feel horrible for him. Because he's, like we've said it 100 times, he's got all 5 tools.
He
But
is very
we
quickly
need him out
becoming what if.
And Blake Perkins, who is rehabbing, which is encouraging. He did hit a home run in his first rehab game the other day I think it was Tuesday, so it might have been yesterday or the day before. Hit a home run in his first rehab game. Blake Perkins has been out. Isaac Collins has chopped the wood, carried the water. He has been fantastic.
True that.
Big Isaac Collins fans over here.
Yeah.
Like you said, 4 hits in the game. He's been everything you could ask for of him.
Yep.
Now, so you have some stuff on the Mets. I just want to throw one thing out there before I give it back to you. They're talking about the Mets struggling. The Mets are absolutely struggling. After today's game, if you go back to June 13th, the Mets are 3-15.
Yeah. That's insane.
You're talking about a team with a damn near $300 million payroll has lost 15 of their last 18 games. Could you imagine if that was the Brewers? People are pissed because they lost a 3rd game rubber match series with a chance to sweep a series against the Rockies. 15 out of 18 games lost by a $300 million payroll big market team. That's going to be a fucking yikes from me, bro.
That's going to be a ha-ha-ha for me, bro.
I hope the Brewers make that 17 losses in their next 20 between tonight and tomorrow night.
Oh, dude, it's going to happen. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, first of all, the Brewers have won 9 of their last 11 games. So we're already tripling their win total. And we've won 13 of the last 15 regular season matchups with the Mets. We are 13-2 in the last 15 games versus the Mets, which is disgusting. And on the road, the Brewers have won 11 of their last 15, so 11-2. And they're on a current now 5-game win streak. So we won 5 games in a row. I forgot to mention it last week, and I texted Tyler after the show. I was like, dude, the couple wins that they got them back to 500. So now they are above 500 team on the road. This is a good baseball team. And coming into the season, Tyler led the charge, but we both talked about if they could just manage their way through May, if they could just survive May, don't let May drown you and get to June, then we can hit the ground running, and that is 100% what happened. So good on you, my boy. Wanted to give you credit on that. And I'm very excited for Mizorowski making his fourth start. He's going to be working off 7 days off The last time he pitched was last week versus Paul Skeens when he outdueled Paul Skeens at home. He'll be making his 4th career start, and he's going to take over New York tonight, man. I can't wait for it. Can't wait for it.
Stuff. That's going to be good TV.
Mm-hmm.
So before we go, I just want to throw out Joey Ortiz since June 15th. So this has been a little over 2 weeks. It's been about 2.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Ortiz is batting .326. He's got 12 singles, 3 homers, 8 runs scored, 11 RBI, 2 walks, only 6 strikeouts. He's only got 6 strikeouts in his last 48 plate appearances.
That's good.
He's taking the ball well.
Yeah.
Not to mention, 2 walks. So, out of that times, he's only had 8 plate appearances where he hasn't put the ball in play.
So he's jumping on some early pitches.
He's making a shit ton of contact.
Okay.
His on-base percentage is .354. His slug is .522. His OPS is .876 since June 15th.
So I just have one quick thing. I was reading a recap on the game, even though I got to watch most of it while I was at work today. And that's something that bothers me about when people write stuff about like recaps about games. This was on MLB. So I'm reading this stuff, and they're talking about Joey Ortiz hitting the grand slam. They're like, and they gave up a grand slam to Ortiz, who was only hitting .210 before his at bat. It's like, yes, he was having a bad year. But maybe you can give him credit for how hot he's been over the last couple of weeks instead of saying he's only hitting .210 going into this at bat.
That's the perspective thing.
Yeah,
and I understand it's New York, so there's not going to be credit given to rivals, but that's the kind of stuff that we would want to know. That's context. Context, They call that. Yes, Joey Ortiz hasn't been great, but if you look since June 15th, he's been really, really good.
Yeah.
Over the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, really
Christian Yelich, going into June, was batting like 184. Now he's batting like 245.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's had 2 double-digit hit streaks in there.
Yeah.
So, just giving that context, again, baseball is such a long season, but that's the spin. That's the spin right there.
Mm.
Be like, yeah, Joey Ortiz has been one of the hottest hitters the last 2.5 weeks, but because he's had a rough start to the season, if you can spin it as he's not a great hitter, you can make it seem, the Mets are incompetent. Steve Cohen should sell the team, and their payroll has done nothing for them. It's all to get you to click on it.
Yeah, sure is.
So the Brewers hopefully can force the Mets to write a little bit more clickbait for all their people in New York. That'll just make their people unhappy, which is sad, unfortunately. We would prefer that our people be like, all right, we listened to them, and now I feel better, even though the situation's not great.
Yeah.
That's how we would prefer. And again, it's not to sugarcoat anything, but it's optimistic and realistic.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just, okay, everything can improve and everything will be better and everything is going to be great and everything is awesome. It's not what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Brewers have 2 more games at the Mets tonight and tomorrow night. Then they have 3 at the Miami Marlins, who are strangely kind of okay, not horrible like they have been, and are actually ahead of the Braves in the NL East.
Yeah.
And then they have 3 against the Dodgers at home. So hopefully continue sending the Mets to the pit of misery, play a strangely okay Marlins team, and then a measuring stick against the Dodgers. So we're going to have 8 games to talk about next week.
Double the games.
And we're going to have Bucks Realm next week.
Yes.
So tune in for that. That's going to be good stuff. Thanks, everybody, for hopping in again today to listen to us talk about the 4 Brewer games from the last week. And again, if you want to know what we thought about the Bucks moves from Monday and yesterday, check out the live that we did yesterday. We did a special live to talk just about the Bucks. Other than that, we will be back next Wednesday, and we will see you then.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams 4th of July sale and get 30% off paints and stains June 27th through July 7th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
If you're a podcast host, listen up. This one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle. And I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.